here.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right, so remember what we talked about in simulation yesterday? It's currently happening right now. Exactly what we spoke about in simulation yesterday. Right, so I wish this trade actually came a bit sooner. Look at this, break of the highs right over here. But obviously, you know, we weren't on the charts during that time, so congratulations on everybody caught this move. We got some nice little reversal confirmations here as well. A little sell-off over here too. Little accumulation to the downside, little breaky. And then price distributed beautifully. And then it did basically the same thing here to the upside this time around. So you see price came like this, distributed. That's a sell that I caught this morning. You know, it took like a sell on gold. And it was pretty straightforward idea. We had the accumulation break there, and we also had the shotgun play, shotgun model in play. I see Ricard over here got it. Very nice. And then there was this other buy over here, but this is like wasn't on the chart during this time here, like 2:47 Eastern. But there's something I'm looking for. I wanted to get a buy for price to keep moving up here. But I think I'm going to wait for a little bit of more clear PA to kind of see what's going on here. I think what I'll prefer to see is like if a candlestick can come down first and then break the highs to continue moving up bullish. So that's what I'm going to wait for. Hello, Jay. Hello, Tarek. Good morning, guys. Yeah, that's what I'm going to wait for here. And then, you know, we can take a buy position. And I think it's going to be a pretty good buy. At first, I was thinking a buy like as it breaks these highs, because the 5-minute looks quite decent. We got a shotgun play to the upside here. Buy as it breaks these highs. The range has already been filled. Like it's only about 21 pips though. That's a thing. There's amazing range above that though. If price can continue moving up bullish. If you look on like, if you look here on the 5-minute time frame. On the 5-minute time frame, you can see that we have a really nice range. Wait, let me just fix this. Yeah, we got a really nice range over here from this resistance all the way up towards this next resistance point. You know, so this range is about 66 pips. 66 pips. So, you know, if we start to move up, which I'm still kind of looking for buys here at this point, is if we start to move up bullish, then I'm going to be looking for price to fill this area over here. You know, like that's what I'm going to be anticipating that price is going to do. It's going to keep moving up. But for us to continue moving up bullish, we first need to create just a little bit more structure. You know, we just need a little bit more structure over here to be formed. So we can have enough orders that price can continue to shoot above that level. Now, it can keep moving up from here, from this point. But I feel like since we just got the London Open, I would like to see a bit more of a fresh new analysis, because we had these sells and we had these buys, and I would like to see some kind of a fresh analysis over there. And if we can get a fresh analysis here for position, then I think that's going to be the play. Hey Joshua, good morning, good morning. That's going to be the play. But it's insane, like coming onto the charts and seeing that gold is already up so much. You know, we're already up like a 1.27 1.27%. Let me just move this here over onto the middle. think that should be fine. All right, so price is breaking. Right now, it's currently distributing, or it's trying or attempting to distribute. I wish this happened earlier. If this just happened a little bit sooner, I mean later, we could have caught this one right here. That would have been so juicy. Push up like 41 pips, 1 minute candle. Mornings, I made 2.7% up in pre-London. Good move. Nice one, Wood. Want to see if I can ride this until 4K. Oh yeah, it was super close. Really close to 4K there. Yeah, we're really close to 4K. 4K, I'm still anticipating by the end of the year, of course, we'll hit 4K. Still got a little bit of pips to do over here, but we should be getting towards like 4K soon. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a buy. See, the Asia session pushed quite lovely over there. Yesterday's PA was also quite bullish, must say. Yeah, we got a really nice PA yesterday. I mean, not yesterday. Sorry, my bad. On Friday. So price opened up. Bull rally. Asia session. Came down. Small little retracement. Reversal confirmation play. And we are back. All right. Matrix attack. Yep. It's kind of like losing a bit of steam there. It's kind of losing a bit of steam over here. I'd like to see something a little bit more cleaner than this. Because I know we just got the sellers. The sellers, I mean the buyers already, you know, they're quite in some nice profit over here. So question is whether we're going to retest them. We're going to come back to retest their orders by that previous accumulation. Price to come down, retest these orders. And then continue to move up bullish first. Because you're going to see, like, you might see some profit taking, some partials around these highs. I mean, that's already like 60 pips that it moved. I hope it just doesn't start skyrocketing without us, though. Create a nice little support over here. Nice little support that was formed to break above this highs. Start moving up to close above resistance. And then continue pushing up bullish. Market's funny. All this puts the entries like a... I have realized, like, sometimes it loves to do this where it has a move. Like, you're going to come on the charts and you're going to see the move happen, like, even there's something like 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago, the move already happened. So annoying. That's the worst. It's like, so you're telling me if I came onto the charts 4 minutes earlier, I could have caught you? Rubbish. See this? Low volume. Low volume. I want to see a little bit more structure over here. And then maybe we're going to look for buy continuation. Something kind of juicy. You never miss a move. You never miss a move. You just miss that move. But you never miss a move. Because that same kind of setup's just going to come, you know? It's just right around the corner again. I think I should take a buy if it started to pull up like this. Maybe stop loss below here. Like about, let's say 38.9 pips. See if we can start pulling up. Then I'm going to use some of that as a liquidity grab confluence for a break above these highs. Right now it's doing like a little head and shoulders, but am I convinced about this move? It's happening so fast. I feel good about this move. Got that nice little liquidity grab on the 5-minute. Setup could definitely look a little bit more cleaner. Because on the 5-minute, we just took out some orders here. You see on the 5-minute, we just took out these lows. Liquidity grab confluence. We got clean range here on the left-hand side. That could be the distribution. I think it's like, it would be nice if we can create one more red candlestick. Just one more red candlestick. And I think I'll be happy with taking that buy. But I'd want to get in on a break just like this. There's a lot of volume in the market. You want to see it dump some more? Structure feels too weak. Well, that's why we're consolidating here. Oh, my bad. No sound. The screen's lagging. All right, yeah, it's good. Vic, you're muted. All right, my bad. It's because the internet went off for a bit there. I had to reset everything. But this is what I'm waiting for. I want to see a red candlestick, perfect, like this. And then next candlestick to break the highs. That's all. That's all that I was saying. And we just got a 5-minute liquidity grab situation that happened right here too. So we're going to use that as confluence for price to fill this range. You know, I think price can head up towards like 39.44 over there. But, you know, we're just going to take a piece of the cake now. So, you know, that's the idea here. Now, if we can re-break these highs, then I think, you know, price has a pretty good shot of moving up bullish. But if we can't, then you know, it is what it is. We just got to wait. Because right now it is pulling down quite heavy. All right, we just took out these lows over here. We just created a new lower low here in the market, as you can see. So I'm going to have to wait for that candle there to close and create a support first. But this is going to be the inception, you know. This is the point in time where it's like, if we start to break now, this is going to be, this is where I'm anticipating that the inception of the move is going to be, that's going to drive the volume to the upside. Because if you're going to look back at it in hindsight, it might get even riskier when price is already in momentum. You know, so I don't want to catch it like when it's already moving up. Preferably, I would love to catch something like right here as it starts to break above the highs. So it's just gearing up right now. Basically, all it's doing is creating some kind of momentum, some kind of volume build up here so it can distribute. It's hesitating a little bit. The London Open has kind of opened because we're right below a key level on the 5-minute. So it's kind of hesitating a bit over here. You see, we're just about filled this range. And remember, there are buyers from down here too. So the question is whether the market's going to come and mitigate them first before continuing to fill or look towards filling this range. I believe that's the all-time highs there by 39.45 as well. So that's the only thing, you know, we're coming from a previous setup over here that's already in distribution. So right now we're looking for the continuation. Basically, it's what we covered on the simulation this yesterday. So these are like kind of continuation moves. Because remember what we saw in the simulation yesterday, that price can keep moving longer than you think it can. And man, right now there's so much volume in the market. These candlesticks are quite big. Hey, Fruk, thank you for the sub. Good morning, Toll Trader. Now just waiting for a break above resistance and we should be off to the races. Remember, I'm only anticipating zero drawdown. So if price comes in like, you know, 35% on this trade over here, then I'm just going to close out, manage my risk there. See, is this a candlestick that shoots up, or do we create more structure on you? $5 about to close too. See, I want this to be the candle that breaks the highs, but we got a 5-minute closure here. Let's see if it breaks. Not yet. Yeah, might as well just wait for that 5-minute closure. Extend the entry here just a slight bit more. That was a tricky thing, was that 5-minute closure, because the 5-minute candle needs to pull back a bit. Oh, okay. Wow, that pulled out heavy. I was cautious about that 5-minute. I was like, man, we're about to get a new 5-minute open right now. We just got another liquidity grab potentially down over here too. Is it me or stream is lagging? What stream? The Zoom? The Zoom is lagging? 5 minutes behind. Wait, let me see what's going on here. Well, you can hear my voice though, right? Hear my voice in real time. Let me just reshare the screen again. Yeah, voice is good. All right, so how's the screen now? I just reshared the screen. It's good now? All right, nice. Yeah, that's something you got to watch out for when you're scalping basically the market. You know, you got situations like this where it's like it pays to be a little bit more patient. You know, so you got to be patient, wait for your wick breaks, wait for price to break the wicks. If you don't get the break of the wicks, then there's no confirmations. So you're looking for strong wick breaks. See if we can pull up, create like a support over here. Put the sign up, waiting for entry. I know somebody got in there. Someone shot the gun a bit early. Somebody rushed it. So you mustn't follow blindly. You should always understand like how the setups have been taken here. But yeah, I think that's a bit of exhaustion. As we could see, we're like trade. You see, that's what I meant. Like it's coming to retest these previous. We got a section over here where you had some previous buyers in the market. So it's like it's coming back to retest those entries. See this? It's coming to retest. Oh, let me get my tool out. Right here. That previous zone. Because this is such a beautiful entry right over here. See, sometimes we even expect these types of reactions. Like, sometimes kind of like people getting back into the market. Usually because it's dipping its toes back in that previous accumulation. You see, that was a high... This is a high probability area over here. So you see, it came back to retest that zone. That's why I was making me a bit cautious about this move up here as well. So, okay, that feels a little bit better at least. Because the market doesn't like really leaving you in your profits for too long. Usually it'll like try and get you out or, you know, try and scare you out or that sort of thing. So now I'm going to wait. It's lagging a bit, I think. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why Zoom is doing that. Let me try something. Sharing is not turned on. The host isn't allowing sharing for this meeting. What's going on here? All right, let me try. Let me send you all a new Zoom link. I kind of gave up my privileges here somehow. Oh, wait, no, I can reclaim. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Thought I kicked myself out. All right, so let's see what kind of structures are being formed here. It's a pretty big kind of accumulation that's currently forming. It's forming a much bigger accumulation from here to here. Still nothing too clear for me. I think I would wait to see if price can kind of like calm down and create some new structure, then it can start to move up again. Maybe that could be the play. GJ. Let's see, GJ. Oh, GJ opened with a market open gap. Huge market open gap above 200. Finally, GJ starting to like pick up some steam here towards the upside. Yeah, GJ's got a really nice range on the left-hand side there too. About like 425 pips. So GJ looks like it's good to keep moving up. GJ looks like it's good to keep moving up. Small little liquidity grab situation that happened below that support. 198. 198 even. Daily's up 1.57%. Damn. I haven't seen GJ up this much in ages. This whole year, I don't think I've seen GJ up that much. Bank of England's Bailey. It is a mistake to freeze the regulatory system because it appears to have worked in the... This is definitely some kind of fundamentals. 2 days ago, I pushed back at the line of argument that post-crisis financial regulation caused a fall in productivity growth. Yeah, that's some kind of like fundamental that happened. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. Gonna wait and see what happens now. If price sets something up for us. Maybe it can take a buy again. Maybe take a buy again above those highs. Or look for a buy above those highs. We have that as a fake out. Back into the range to re-break the highs to move up again. Especially now that we've already had the retracement down. We'll put my entry right here. Stops will be a bit too big right now. The range is massive. So that's what I'm looking at as a potential accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to the upside. But it still depends on how the candles here are going to close. First female elect PM for Japan. Market doesn't like it. Oh, so yen went down. Crazy. Yeah, I think it was some yen news. Must have been some yen. Hey, Raven. Good morning. Good morning. I got a tighter stop loss. Let's just see what happens. I think this could definitely still look a lot cleaner. Oh, again, the audio. I swear, Zoom today has been a problem. So it'll still be nice to see just a little bit more structure here. Then break above. Thing about the market, it can form it anywhere. So you can just remove these lines for now. And then look at the naked chart work. What's that sign inside of your arm? Oh, that's just like a small little infinity sign. That's all. One day my buddy was getting a tattoo and, you know, I was kind of bored as well and I decided to get one too. So I got like a small little infinity there. I don't have too many tattoos though. I only got that. I only have this. I have one on my chest right here that just says believe. And one on my ankle is just like an owl sitting on a key. Do you pick stops based on last 5 minutes swing lows and highs? Yeah, kind of. Like I pick stops based off of where I think, you know, makes the most sense for the structure. Because, you know, sometimes you can mess the entry up, but if you got a good stop loss, then, you know, that's kind of like the important... Oh, there's another breakout here. That's kind of the important thing, is the stop loss. Most people are too fixated on the entries, and forgetting the stops are what's most important as well. Because entries, you know, you can get an entry anywhere. Like some people could have already been in entry here, or like get an entry over here. But the important thing, they all got like the same stop, which is an important stop. But if you got a random stop, like then sometimes your random stop's going to get hit and then price goes in your direction. Basically what happened in the simulation yesterday. We didn't have structure for a stop loss, and this is why the simulations are so important. We didn't have structure for a stop loss, so our stop got hit because it just put it within the range. There's always a higher probability that it gets hit. You can still use it as a stop, but there's just a higher chance it gets hit if you're not hiding it behind some kind of structure. Hey Tetra, going to Dubai? Going to Dubai Forex now. Wish to see you sometime, Vic. What do you mean you're going to Dubai Forex now? That 1 minute candle was twitching like a crackhead. It says Dubai Forex Expo. Oh, awesome. Yeah, one day I'm gonna meet you there. You're like, hey Kwashi, what's up? How you doing? Then we can take a trade. Oh, we should do live trade. Do they do live trading at the Dubai Expo? Forex? Don't think so. I doubt it. Yeah, like a live trading tournament. You know, like how gamers have their gaming tournaments, and you have this popular gamers and that sort of thing. We should get one for like trading. I think there's already one, to be honest, but it's not really a thing. But it's existed before. Oh, that Robin's Cup. We should be able to like live stream that Robin's Cup thing. Why can't we watch those trades happen live? So I'm still waiting on gold. I definitely feel like it's cooking something up there. I was seeing a YouTuber stream. It was funny when the breakout happened this pre-open 7:45. They hear the volume come out, strange volume. It was funny because it was so evident for me. The YouTube live is better than the Zoom live. What more do you need in the Zoom live? Tell me. What can I do to make it better for you? Because the whole idea behind the Zoom live is zero latency. There's lag. Yeah, I don't know what this lag thing is here today. I'm not sure what that's about. We never have lag. Might be just some kind of like technical problem with the company. Let me see. Share screen. Yeah, no settings were changed. It's all the same. Let me ask. Serkan, was there lag yesterday when we were doing the simulation? Ricardo says it's okay for me. I have like only 2 seconds from my trading view to Zoom. Okay, see, AB, maybe this is something you gotta look at on your end now. Said no lag. Yeah. Still contemplating whether to just take this off the like if it just keeps moving up to take the buy just like this, or wait for a bit more structure to form. See how it came down to retest these previous entries? Thank you, Jay. I saw a trading tournament before set up just like gambling tournament. They had a few traders and commenters and all that stuff. And was when I was really new, so I didn't really understand what's going on. Any news? We haven't like really dug into the news yet, but today we have US government still seems to be shut down there. Let me remove that. We still have we got Bank of England Bailey speaks. That's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. But besides from that, we don't have any sort of news. Should I take it off the rip? That's the question. Should we just take it off the rip, or should we wait? Should we wait? I feel like we gotta wait. Like we gotta wait for some kind of resistance to be formed. This is the setup that I want to take right now. That's a setup that I want to take. This one right here. Let me wait for our resistance to first be formed over there, then look for a break of the highs. So I'm not going to get in just yet. I'm going to wait for resistance to be formed. We also got a new hourly candlestick. I mean, what a 5-minute candle that's about to open up. Oh man, it looks like it's breaking. Will it break? It's not giving me my setup. Sheesh. Because that 5-minute use, I'm still a bit cautious about this resistance over here on the left-hand side. Yeah, we can break it. We can break it with volume, but the setup itself is not, it's not. Cleaning up the way I wanted to. See again the 5-minute retracements. You see it's struggling. Right up here is a very important zone, guys. This is real scalping. This is raw scalping. There here, you're watching raw scalping and adapting to real-time market environments. You know, because we're trying to avoid any kind of whips. That's the important thing. We need to avoid any kind of whips. Use this as a confluence here for price to move up. Oh, how are we moving up? You see, this is that. It's moving so freaking fast. But I kind of want to see... All right, if we break these highs, we should actually move up. That'll be the reflip of the 5 minute. Reflipping and breaking its highs because we just got a liquidity grab situation over there. We just got a liquidity grab situation on the 5 minute. Yeah, this should be the break of the highs. It's got support. You got that resistance up over there. Yeah, I think that's gotta look pretty good. But the thing is, we gotta move. We gotta move with like volume. Because you see that 5 minute high is fluctuating right now. We have to move with some kind of a volume. Once we reflip and break the highs. Fluctuating quite a lot. It's a little volatile. But you see, the more we wait, the more we can at least get a better sense of what the market's trying to do. See, we got our nice little SMA confluences here too. So we got price still holding SMAs. If this thing pulls up and reflips, that's going to look like a nasty liquidity grab. There to the downside. Something seems to be happening, but can't see anything on news yet. Yeah, it feels like there's some kind of like something happening in the background. Yeah. But you see, we're up right now 1.25%. So I'm still leaning more towards a bullish direction, just to see what kind of confluences we can get as we get into these entries here. But the last thing, we're trying to catch the break. You know, we don't want to find ourselves in like some kind of a pullback, right? So just that little bit of extra patience really helps in a situation like this. So I think the way it's set up now, I really would not expect if a candlestick re-breaks these highs that it's going to pull back down again. Because, you know, we've created resistance. We've already done one pullback here. We've come up. We've done another pullback here. You know, and the 5 minute candle is about to close and the new 5 minute candle is about to open up. That's going to look somewhat like this. To then continue to push through that zone. This happened last week, the lag on Zoom meeting. I just reset the PC and solved the issue. I tried resetting the Zoom, but this worked. Maybe if you are like me, leave the PC, turn on 24/7. Oh yeah, so try and reset the PC, anybody who's still having some problems over there. It's true, when you leave the PC on for too long, sometimes it does have some kind of like weird problems with it. I'll just turn mine off though. Man, next time we break these highs, we should fly. Y'all can feel this bullish momentum? It's just really choppy, but can you feel the bullishness? Like, if we break this resistance here properly, man, I think this thing could just continue moving up. I would be expecting it to continue moving up. This is none of this financial advice. This is me just taking my trades. If we look at it now, if now starts to consolidate on top, it's an inverted head and shoulders, and then we have a really good setup to move up. See, please create the 15-minute bottom wick. Yeah, it's choppy. It's quite volatile here. You can see these movements. We're starting to get a lot more wicks forming, which is not really a good sign. You know, the more wicks we get like this, not really a good sign. It kind of even looks like it's rejecting that resistance there. But yeah, the 15-minute has created the bottom wick now. See what the hourly is doing? Oh, hourly is still fresh. Hourly hasn't moved yet. Created hourly lows. Maybe towards the last 13 minutes here, the hourly candle can actually start to move. Crazy volatile. There's a real battle between buyers and sellers right here. This is a real you see, the problem is when the candle moves like this, in essence, the candle is just moving, right? Candles just move and they just close normally, right? But when it moves like this, it drives a lot of emotion out of people. So, you know, right now you might be thinking like, oh, this is crazy. Like, this is uncomfortable. And that's the whole idea. And that's why price is doing this as well, you know? It doesn't always move like this. There's a difference between like how candlesticks also tick. So this kind of ticking over here, man, it drives people... It makes people feel anxious. Because it's like, you know what it's going to do. Because that's what you experience usually before a big move too. Alright, so I just took my buy over here. Expecting us to continue moving up here at this point. So I'm not anticipating this thing to do any more pullbacks. Now we should just get out of this zone. Because we've been retesting this area multiple times. You know, we were retest. Now we got a solid candlestick close above resistance. So I don't want to see any pullbacks. Come on, Goldie, fly.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Now it's starting to break above this clean range here on the left-hand side. As you can see, oh, nice. Lovely push. See this? We got some clean range here finally. Break above this resistance. We got about 54 minutes though for candlestick to close. So it'll be nice to see if candle can at least close above this resistance. Right over here and then start skyrocketing. Oh, let's fly, Goldie. Oh, I'm getting a call here. Man, that's not a good time for a call, sir. I'm in a fucking trade. Leave me alone. Dude. Alright, so all seriousness, I'm actually expecting a package. And I need to pick up that call. All right, guys. Just secured some profit over here. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's freaking go. Man, I literally had to pick up this call, and this guy is at the door right now. This guy is at the door right now. Let's freaking go, chat. Let's freaking go. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Can we see some W's in the chat for this one? Sitting pretty nice over here, about like 50 pips. Yeah, that was kind of like a difficult trade. If you saw the process behind catching this move, you know, not all trades are this hard to catch. This is a bit of a difficult trade because we had to avoid all the whips that were happening here. And you saw how we avoided those whips, how those like few extra seconds that we took just to be patient helped us from potential losing trade over there. So not the easiest. And you can see the volatility right now. It's like crazy volatile. So instead of move like this, you know, I think it was a pretty good way it played out here. And it still filled up the range, but not an easy catch. Not an easy catch. But yeah, this is pretty good. So this was the idea here, that price would keep moving up. You know, and it's like, how can you get in sooner so you don't get in later? You know, because that's what we're trying to avoid as well. We're trying to avoid catching this later. So sometimes it's safer even to take the kind of like risky trade. You know, that kind of a risky trade, it's safer to take sometimes like this. But yeah, awesome. My trade was some 39.27. This is the thing I noticed about gold. It's pushing quite a lot today. Usually when we see the market push like this, creates really good opportunities as well for profits. Even though it's volatile. But remember what I said before the move here happened? Was that a price usually, when we expecting some kind of a volume, you see zero drawdown again. But when we're expecting some kind of a volume, sometimes it will behave kind of aggressive before a big move. You know, you got to think of the market sometimes like a wild animal. Like when you put it in a cage and you kind of like cornering it, it can sometimes act a bit aggressive, which can work in your favor, but it can also work against you. So it's quite important to follow your rules and get in only on the trades which you feel like some kind of a confident about. Which platform are you using? This is TradingView. Scale in on the 1 minute, just paper trading that. Oh no, there's nothing there to scale in yet. You need a bit more structure to be formed here. Maybe like some pullback, red candle, and then maybe shoot back above. Yeah, that's why I always say whenever you're trading, you gotta trade during a time when, you know, preferably no one's gonna bother you. So sometimes you got these things a bit out of control sometimes, you know, but the more you have like an hour or two out of the day where no one can bother you, obviously it's gotta be really important. What's the next buy setup? The next buy setup here is a let me see. Next buy setup. Yeah, maybe this candlestick close bearish and then breaks previous highs right over here. Then, you know, I think we could see a potential continuation. But that's it. I take one trade here and I'm gonna wait. There's no need to. The only ways you're gonna lose, because look, you just had a profitable trade here. You're part of, you know, maybe the 5%, 10% of people who just had a profitable trade. So why risk that again to be part of the 95% of people, 90% of people who are not having a profitable day? Do you want to go back in that group? You know, do you want to go back in that group? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Because now you're part of a group who's making profits today. It doesn't matter if you made like 1%, 2%, you know, it doesn't matter. The important thing is, you know, you made some money, because at the end of the day, that's the end goal. Are you making money? Or are you not making money? You know, if you're trying to be perfect, then I think you got to go find something else to do. Because there's this like perfection that traders are going to come up with in their head, that they need to have like some kind of a perfect kind of a perfect day, but it doesn't exist. What a perfect day for a trader is, did you make money today or did you manage your risk today? That's all that makes like a perfect day for a trader. And then you come with consistency, and that should play out in your favor over the long term. You think it will pop? Yeah, it will pop. It's on edge right now. I think Goldie's like a little crackhead, the way it's behaving right here.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Goldie's behaving like a crackhead. It's super volatile. Now look at the size of this 1 minute candle over here. Chat, how insane is this? Literally zero drawdown. That's how you want to kind of refine your strategy, if it's possible for you to do so. And that's the reason I trade the way I trade, and the reason I love the way I trade is because it's super efficient. You know, I know if I'm going to be right or wrong about that trade. But if you don't want to learn how to trade and you're still looking for shortcuts, you're going to miss out on so much value if you're joining the mentorship just looking for shortcuts. You're going to miss so much value. And the problem is, like, people who do that, oh, look at this, point A has been filled, point B has been filled. People who do this, man, they're the same people. They're the same people who are going to be 10 years from now still saying they're not profitable. Like, literally. They're people who trade like 6-10 years, still not profitable. You know, because they're kind of like always chasing something. But if you're truly like seeing the value of what this could be for your own edge, then that's where you find your growth. You know, it's not about replicating the next guy or anything like that. It's just about saying, what can I get of value from this guy that I can use as a stepping stone in my journey? Because you can't replicate that guy completely, right? But you can learn something from him that's going to make you better. Correct? So I think this is like a really good opportunity for, you know, a lot of people here to just get better and see how price moves. And if you're trying to catch like volume, because, you know, a lot of the time maybe we get stuck in situations like this, right, where you take a trade and you're getting in drawdown, and, you know, this can sometimes become a bit confusing, right? So this is just only giving you a perspective of what it looks like when your trade finally plays out, and then maybe you can look at this in the future and say, okay, so, you know, this is something that I understand now. Like, volume tends to come out like this and not always necessarily like this. You know, it's just like a different perspective. Because we all like these trades, you know. I remember there used to be a time in like 2020 when this used to be the popular thing to do. So this is what people used to think was like the main way to catch zero drawdown trades, was that it had to come in and then come out like this and then straight into profit. That used to be like a trend back in like 2020. And we all try to look for these types of trades. But you know, that trend, it doesn't exist here anymore. Because I think what people started realizing is the market's not perfect. So the more you try and get these like perfect entries, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. So you rather just flow with the market. You know, if it's moving up, flow with it up. If it's moving down, flow with it down. Yeah, now we got the range here has been filled. From boom, boom, and that's it. I didn't take now. Next trade is 10 hours from now. Really happy with my trading today. Follow my rules. Got 6 trades. Oh, nice. In all W. Let's go. Using small lot size. Just 2% up. Very nice. Still taking lots of trades, but W day. Win rate 55% RR. Let's go. Oh, 55% RR 1 to was that 1 to 5? Holy. Damn glad I took profit off of that top wick. Yes. Make sure you secure something. If you're still holding this expecting all-time highs, secure like 80%. Trust me. Just secure something here. Because we don't know if it's going to break this. It's most likely going to go to all-time highs. Voila, it's most likely going to go up there. But all that we know is that price has moved and filled this area on the left-hand side. That's all that we know. It's filled this area here on the left-hand side. So the runner, this is like a bonus. You see how it's breaking? Look at this crackhead behavior here. It's literally the candles are just reappearing. How many pips? This thing just pushed and TradingView just appeared all the way down over here. Just broke the all-time highs. So lots of exuberance in this market right now. If you look at the daily, we're up 1.55%. Really good year for gold this has been. TP hit just cashed out 200 pips exactly. Nice one, Schwartz. Zero drawdown strat. Zero drawdown strat. NFP week. Did the NFP get pushed to this week? I don't think we're gonna even have NFP this week. Oh, it got pushed to this week. Wow, this is weird. This is really weird. It's still set up as a tentative event though. Yeah, but we still got NFP week. See, this was the move that I was talking about here. Let's see, did we actually get it? Because everything was happening so fast, kind of like lost track. Yeah, we kind of got it. We kind of got it. And it happened even better than this, than what this looked like over here. This is a nice little reversal confirmation play that we had previously. Break below. There was some kind of a support over there, and then it consolidated and then started breaking above the highs. See, Goldie here is going for the all-time highs. So we're currently at a 39.45. Lovely, lovely results coming in here from Ricardo. Up for the month, 9.17 already. Nice.
Why are you running? What?
Come on, Goldie, get up there. Get your butt up there to 4K. Fly, Goldie. I believe in you. What are your hours of trading? Sir, just come onto the spreadsheet here and then you can see that for yourself. Links in description. And holy. Anybody still holding a partial over here? Kind of like in the no man's zone. It says no man's zone because there's nobody here. We've never been up here before. So you see, you gotta let these guys go in first. These are like the sharpas. You gotta let the sharpas go in first, and then they're gonna create you like some kind of a path. You know, and then you're gonna see, then they're gonna come back, and then they're gonna tell you about it. They're gonna tell you about it, and then maybe you can follow them back up there. But right now, you can't take a buy. You can't take a buy because there's no setup here to take a buy. You know, price is just moving up. Even if you look at the 1 minute time frame, it's just moving up bullish. The only people who take buys here are the ones who are looking for those exuberant pushes every time we break a new all-time high. Look at this volume starting to come in. That's the only kind of setup that you can really take at these highs. Is some kind of like an all-time high, just a break of structure here so that you can get a pop. I used to be happy for huge quick gains, but it only comes from over risking. And we all know how that plays out in the long run. Yeah, over risking is not good. I mean, huge quick gains don't only come from over risking. Because, you know, the thing is, if you know how to scalp the market, right? Let's say you got a 16 pip stop loss. Man, this morning I had a 16 pip stop loss. I had a 16 pip stop loss when this candlestick started re-breaking these lows. So look at this. A huge quick gain, let's just put in terms of risk to reward. This already pushed down like about a 1 to 3.43 risk to reward. Correct? That's already, that all happened in a manner of like that 5 minute candlestick right there. Now, if you're risking 2%, that's going to be like, you know, 6%. I mean, yeah, that's going to be about 6%. 6%. You know, but look, the risk remains the same. That's just 2% risk that you had happen over here. The thing is, like, if you want huge quick gains, you just have to get good at understanding how market operates on the lower time frame. Because a trade like this as well, you guys already know, I could take this with a 16 pip stop loss too. You know, 16 pip stop loss, that's also fine. We've covered this in the simulations. We've done this live. I sent signals like this too. This is already up a 1 to 8 risk to reward. That's already up a 1 to 8 risk to reward. Risking 1%. You know, that's a quick gain, but you didn't have to take on like additional risk. I think it's only the people who don't know how to trade the lower time frames. They're the ones who usually increase the risk. You know, because it's like for them, they can't get the push. So it's like much more frustrating because they don't have like a system. They haven't seen that play out enough times to build like a proper strategy with like a good risk management. Because look, even if I'm risking, let's say 1 to 1.5% per trade, I'm always looking to lose less than that. And it depends on the market. Sometimes I can lose less than that. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes my 1 to 1 risk to reward trade can become even a 1 to 3 risk to reward because that risk part is subjective. I can move it from here, and as price prints, I can tighten it up again and say, okay, now you shouldn't be moving back down there. And then now you should go up. So it gets a bit subjective. But how often do you get a full 1 to 8 with no partials taken? Yeah, that's why I always secure something. If you're always chasing like very high RR, naturally you can expect some kind of a decrease in hit rate or maybe a little bit more break-evens. The higher the risk to reward, the more chances you're going to get more of your break-evens being hit. But if you got like, you know, 1 to 3, I still think it's pretty decent. 1 to 3. Provided you can get a setup with like, you know, a 10 pip stop loss, 16 pip stop loss. I mean, the way you see gold as well moves, you got to pick like certain days like this, you have a higher probability of those runners because we can see that there's a lot of volume in the market. We're already up here like 1.63%. But nothing beats experience. You know, the more you show up and you do something, you naturally just get better at it. To be honest, You naturally get better at it. And I think it's a skill that you can cultivate, you know? Like some great musicians, they're able to hear music very, very naturally to them. So you hear this? If you're a good musician, basically you can hear a song from that. If you're not a musician, then all you're hearing is clicking. So there's this thing like people have creativity, yeah? So I think the more because trading is a very, very visual thing. The more kind of you allow yourself to be flexible, to receive some kind of input from the market to get naturally better, you're going to have a better chance like that than trying to, you know, that's why I say like, there's some people who have like all these PhDs, economics degrees, but when they come to trading, they're the ones who are losing because they're trying to make sense of something that is almost like it's imperfect. The market is imperfect. So the more you're trying to make sense of it, the more times you're going to find like you're going to have a harder time in the market. So you have to be a bit more flexible. So that's like a creativity thing I think you could nurture, right? You can nurture that given the right amount of time. And some people, they have it much quicker. Some people, when they listen to music, for them, it comes naturally, it comes much more quicker. But you have people who go like to grad school or whatever it is to learn about music. They're not the same level as someone, let's say Michael Jackson or Lionel Richie. You know, these guys are just naturally talented in that craft because they allow themselves to receive that information in a very different way than someone who has too much of an analytical brain. They wouldn't be able to understand it as fast. Correct? So that's something I think, you know, it just comes with like a bit of time experience. You can definitely find more success if you allow yourself to be a little bit more fluid. Right? Just allow yourself to be a little bit more fluid. Because this is nothing new. These are concepts we're breaking down like during the simulations. The setup is the same setup. It just happens a little bit differently because that's, again, the creative nature of markets. That the same move can happen, but it happens slightly a bit differently each time. Right? And you don't got to be special. Just work with what you got. You know, like all music you've ever heard in your life is only composed from maybe like 12 notes. 12 notes, all music you've ever heard in your life. You know, so it's like you just have to find your own sound, which is kind of like hard to say. It's like, how do I put this? How do I put this? Damn, I missed my train of thought, chat. I was going somewhere really good with this, but I totally forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, but just stick with that. Just stick with the basics, I think is what I was trying to get at. It's like all music is only composed of maybe 12 notes. Stick with the basics. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, stick with the basics. Because even if you look at the setup, it's just the same old 12 notes, right? 12 notes. Just understand the basics and try execute from that perspective. Trying to go somewhere with this. I'm finding it difficult. It's like you can have the greatest song, right? That is so simple. Like you're just hearing the guitar scratch and those things. And you can have a super complicated song, which does not sound as nice, right? You can make a whole album with just like, let's say 4 chords. You can make a whole album with just 4 chords. And that could be a hit album. You know, or you can try and make a whole album with like all these complicated intrinsic chords going on, and you know, maybe no one wants to listen to that. That's why I'm going with this. So, you know, your trading is kind of like in a similar fashion. You can have the best album in a sense, the best playbook, if you keep just the basic structure in line. That's going to help you stay a bit more consistent. When you sit at the piano, the endless possibilities of hit records are before you. Just pick the right keys. Exactly. Just pick the right keys. Find your sound. You know, it's all about finding your sound, right? Imagine 12 notes, but when you hear a Jimi Hendrix song, you can say that's Jimi Hendrix. When you hear Michael sing, you can tell that's Michael Jackson. Imagine these are all just 12 notes. So imagine finding a uniqueness in 12 notes. How difficult that must be. And you know, you're not going to find that by trying to overanalyze, trying to figure it out. The way you're going to find that if you allow yourself to receive the information, the lessons you're getting from the market every single day. That's the only way. Because sometimes, man, I look at how I even got here and I wonder to myself, like, how is that even possible? You know, because sometimes I just think it's like, it has something to do with luck. It has something to do with luck. It has something to do with just getting 1% better every day and just trying to receive as much from the universe as possible. You know, and I think that's where most people's creative edges come from. I think me personally, that's how a lot of great products are invented, and that's how greatness is achieved. By not trying to figure it out and put it in a box, but by allowing yourself to see it from a different perspective. The complicated sounds are just to show off your capabilities. The simplicity shows your practicality. Yeah, that's me. I'm very big on this. I'm not much of a religious person, but I do believe in a God. And I believe if you allow yourself to listen to God every day, then you should be finding yourself on the right path most of the time than if you're trying to, you know, trying to play God instead of listening every day to the lessons that you're getting from the universe. And I know it sounds a bit weird to some people, but that's the only way I can explain it. Every event in your life, every day you're on the charts is a new opportunity for you to learn something new. And you know, you just need a few of these kind of like aha moments to compound to what you're trying to achieve. You know, maybe they don't all come out once. Maybe one aha moment comes this month. Maybe the next aha moment comes in 3 months. I always wanted to sing. I found AI music creator gave that to me. Just added lyrics, so I'm a composer more than a singer. Oh yeah, I've seen that. AI kind of makes you sound really nice when you sing. Yeah, this is a all-time highs now. Gotta wait for some kind of a retracement to first come in. Let it come down first and then let it do its thing again. Just be patient. Because, you know, we already had this pretty big move over here. Pushed up. How many pips is this? 167. When you listen to God, what does he tell you? He tells you, trust me. That's all that he tells you, is just trust me. You just have to trust in him. Because you can't plan your life, you know. You're going to plan your life and life has a funny way of punching you in the face, right? So instead of trying to plan everything out, just get naturally good at everything that you do. If you're a singer, don't try and sing the notes. You know, don't try and sing the notes like on a piece of paper. For example, like just sing. Just sing. Just trust in God. Let it just receive, you know, because these are lessons. I'm talking about singing, but these are lessons that you also get in every aspect of your life, even when it comes to trading. Just receive, because sometimes you're trying to do too analytical, you know. That's why whenever we teach you such things, this is just a concept to understand how markets move and operate. You can build a mechanical plan out of it, but you have to understand like the different variations this forms. Right, so you got one variation here. This is basically the same thing that happened down here, but it has that little variation that we talk about. You know, we got that liquidity grab situation below support, kind of like a little head and shoulders pattern in there too. You know, we talk about this all the time. We got left shoulder, head, right shoulder, volume. See this? Volume came in right there on the right shoulder. That's why I was like, okay, so you know, price is setting this thing up here. how can I get this move? Because I was looking for this move, but I know the variation, it's same, but it's different. You know, but it's the same move. And the only way you can actually trade is if you receive the information. A lot of people like to do this. They're going to send me a picture of a rising wedge or whatever the hell you draw that thing, and then they're going to try and like put some tracing paper on the screen, and they're going to try and trace it out and try to figure out like if this is a rising wedge or is this not a rising wedge. You know, that type of trading, I don't think it's pretty good. It doesn't allow you to get good at reading price action. All right, look at this small little liquidity grab, break and retest. Let's see what happens here at this point. Starting to accumulate just a little bit, but there's nothing really set up too much right now. Still needs to do a little bit more setting up here. See, it comes in, boom, boom, come back down, re-break the highs. Maybe that's going to look quite decent for a bullish continuation. If we think about the song, we have a chorus, which is the breakout, and the rest is consolidation for that moment. Forex is the same thing, and the best movements come from consolidation. Yeah, right? And then how exponential is it from consolidation? So exponential, right? See, like market literally a reflection of reality. I think we all share kind of like our own unique relationship with the markets, you know, depending if you're novice trader or experienced trader, because, you know, this becomes like a huge part of our lives, because most of the time as traders, we're involved in the market, right? Obviously, we're involved in the market. It becomes a huge part of our lives. So we start to see the reflections of life and then the markets too. But yeah, you see 90% of the time or majority of the time, it's like consolidating, right? And then it's like when you take off, man, you gotta take off. You're gonna take off, and then it's like exponential like this. And you know, it's like it can't always be exponential. So, you know, the singer is gonna go on tour, right? He's gonna go on tour, crazy, is, you know, dancing off the wall, and then boom, consolidate again. Maybe another period of consolidation in their lives comes in. You know, what have you, what that might be. Small little break, maybe some few challenges along the way, but again, consolidation. Then you have another potential exuberant push, or maybe you have a pullback, you know, something that humbles you a little bit more. Then you have the same thing. Then it happens, consolidates, and then you have a great time. Like if you look at your year and how your year has been, it's basically been like the market. You've had great times. You've had times it's, you know, you didn't really know, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of waiting. You had some pullbacks, you know, help you with your humbleness, maybe some reality checks, maybe some lessons as well. And then, you know, now you're getting back up on your feet again. And then that's the way it goes. And that's the way price is every time it's creating new higher highs. So your life in essence is like a chart, always creating new higher highs. So, you know, it's just about that your mental model towards things. Whenever you have drawdowns in your personal lives, do you like despair? You know, do you despair, or do you trust the process and the direction you're overall heading towards? You know, if you look at the stock market doesn't despair when it comes down, because it knows it's going up. So even when it comes down, it still knows that it's going up. It knows this is the destination that we're heading to. And that's the kind of mindset you got to have, especially as a trader, as an entrepreneur. You know, you can't despair too much. You always got to find the positive in everything, the lessons in everything. Nice zone to break, but we don't have a zone to fill for the buys. Clean traffic. Is it safer to wait for price to create a long bottom wick for taking another fuel and re-break the high with decent volume? This is something that you gotta wait for a support to be formed, so price can start to move up, but it needs to break these highs. It needs to break this wick here by 39.49 to truly keep moving up. You know, at this point, if that doesn't happen, it's most likely just pulling back a bit more, because it just created, again, new higher high. A new higher high has been formed in your life. So now it's just getting a bit of drawdown, a bit of pullbacks, and then so you can create a new higher high again. I'm out 100 pips. Well done, mate. Beautiful little console break to the downside. It seemed like it was a little distribution. You see that little sideways movement right there? That's breaking towards the downside. Boom. Volume coming in. Correcting or mirroring this PA that happened here on the left-hand side. Now on the 5-minute, it looks pretty clean. Might be coming down to retest these guys right here, which basically us, by 39, 36, you know? Just the same way I spoke about. Remember I spoke about how it came down and retested this area? Because I knew that, you know, we got some buddies over here that were in trade. So instead of putting them in profit the whole time, because, you know, the market kind of has a mind of its own. Because it knows it's going to move up. It knows it's going to move up, right? So it says, okay, you know, before we move up, let's have a retracement to shake some people out over here first. Because this was where the previous entry was. So it came, stopped them out. And then it skyrocketed up bullish. So this was nice. So even when we were planning on taking a buy here, it was nice to see that price at least came down first. So we don't have to worry about that happening later after getting in. So that was also quite important there. Retested. Now it's kind of doing the same thing. Distributed. Thinking instead of going up here, you know, it's thinking maybe you should come down from this area and again retest these previous entries. Because now it is in a small little push to the downside, small little distribution there. Now that doesn't always happen. You know, the market's not 100%. But when we speak about these things, we're speaking about things which we see happen more often, that we can put this into like a sample size and say, okay, there's a kind of a high probability this is going to happen. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen. Go short, double your profits. Go shorts, get a whip. When you stand in front of the MT5 infinite riches are right in front of you, just have to hit buy or sell at the right moment. Simple. Really? Yeah, it's as simple as that, eh? It is crazy. I've had that thought before. Literally, infinite riches in front of you. All you gotta do is pick the right moments to hit buy or sell. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Man, but just because the market's open 24/7 doesn't mean you gotta trade it 24/7. You know, just stick to like maybe one trade a day. Maximum 3 trades a day. Because the way it's designed, the market is designed in a way like a casino is designed to take your money, right? There's a system in place. The system in place to make sure that that doesn't become a reality for most people, that you could just like keep taking money out of the market whenever you want to take it. Because there's a huge conflict of interest then at that point. And the system will break. So the system's designed just to give a few opportunities every day, and your job is just to consistently execute on those couple of opportunities. It doesn't matter if the whole day is playing out. Like if you're getting back-to-back-to-back setups, you're going to feel a lot better in the long run, just limiting yourself a bit more. How to overcome losses? Just shift of mindset, that's all. Because if you're losing a lot, you can't change the fact that you're losing, but you can change the fact of how you respond to the losses. That's what you have in your control. So start taking an audit, you know, an inventory of the things you have control over in your journey right now. So what do you have control over? Risk. You can control your risk right now. You can reduce the risk because maybe you're getting too discouraged with like too much losses and the risk is adding up, right? Those are like business expenses. It's adding up too much. So you gotta control the risk. You know, the second thing you can control is your mindset. How are you gonna start reacting to the losses? You know, moving forward, are you gonna keep thinking about wins or how to keep reducing your losses? And maybe even through that, you're gonna find out even how to win more. Because sometimes when you're not winning and you focus on your losing trades, that could also help you understand how to win. Because if you're a consistent loser, maybe there's something you're doing consistently that can help you become a consistent winner. So again, it's just that shift of mindset again. Just those two things, I think that's how you're gonna like overcome your losses. 1 to 3 on the lower time frame is very much easy compared to the HCF. Yeah, 100%. Because this is the reason why. Because price moves already, and price knows that there are these other traders on the LTF in these positions, and it doesn't want to leave them in profitable trades for too long too. You know, like trading is a very competitive environment. So when you start taking trades off that higher time frame, it's like there's these bigger moves that are happening in between. You know, and the longer you're in the market, the more exposure that you basically have, your trade will have to changing market environments. That's why it's so much harder to catch on the higher time frame. Hey, what's up, Frankie? Good morning. Is this a buying up or should I try waiting until 39.30? I think you gotta wait until some kind of a structure for buys forms, because right now price is just coming down. It's coming down to our buddies over here by 39.36. Saying, oh, you want to be greedy? Maybe already took out some trading stops possibly. See, it pushed up about 128 pips. If you want to be greedy, the market always has a way of putting you kind of like back to reality here. ATH break waiting for 1-to-1 to move to BE. Will trail on that point. Oh, wow. Nice. ATH break. Sheesh. Look at that pullback, though. Kind of scary, right? This is usually what happens to people like get scared out of their positions. So the market will scare you out like this. And then it would come down. You see, it looks like definitely this is going to hit stop loss at this point. But you see, they slowly, gradually started to come back up again. But that was like a squeeze. Squeezing out the weak hands before price continues to move up. SL now 2% in profit. Let's go. Oi, oi. Nice. You've been holding these trades of late. Very nice. Third and fourth trade of the day. All W's. First trade sold. Had the balls to hold it. 1 minute into chart. I just hold it. Wow, look at that entry. Oh, this is the one you said you caught. You caught the one here, the lows. Resistance. You took it like a shotgun entry on the 1 minute time frame. Could have just waited a bit longer for these highs, just to be on the safe side. Wait for these highs to get broken. Because you already see the accumulation, right? Update on today. Wow. Man, look at how symmetrical this looks. Nice one, nice one. Proper exits too, because you know, exit right here, price came down. Re-entry has started to go up again. Oh, I see. You've been holding that trade since we were waiting for it right here. But you see, that's what I mean. Like the stop loss sometimes makes the most sense because some people could have even gotten in here already. But if we're all going to share like a valid stop, let's say for example purposes, let's say down over here, then it sometimes doesn't matter as much as the entry. The entry, of course, matters if you're trying to like replicate something like this, like what we had here today, like zero drawdown and just catch the actual move. But majority of the time, you got to think about other traders in the market. So they're already in position. See, like Woods was already in here, right? And it's just a matter of where with the stop loss to keep the trade valid. That's why I don't believe the perfect entry exists. It's either you're going to get in whenever you get in and all waiting for the directional push. There's no perfect entry. It's just high confluence entries, areas in the market where you can have a higher probability of something happening. That's all that it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's perfect. See, it's coming to retest general region right over here. Same thing that happened down over here too, before it started pulling back up again. I missed my short by 0.5 pips entry. It's the thing with forex, you know, forex you got some spreads and you got a lot more to worry about in terms of getting your order fill and that sort of thing. So that's why I prefer like market execution. Hey AD, nice to see you in the chat. Vic, my village people are after you. Why are they after you? Easy 10 pips, folks, in just 4 minutes ago. Viral boss, let's go. $2K profit on demo account, holding the trade since Wednesday. If you're not planning on trading like that on a live account, then yeah, obviously don't do that on a demo. You're just wasting time. Like, because the thing is, whatever you're doing on that demo is what you got to be comfortable with now doing on a live account. And the thing is, I don't like about demos is there's no emotional attachment, like in terms of real money. So quicker you can get yourself on a live account, the better. Because that same trade you're holding right now, since Wednesday, if you're holding even, let's say, a 10-cent lot, it feels more real on a live account than if you're doing that on a demo account. You know, it feels more real and you start to actually build like proper experience. But when you do it on demo, you never really learn on a demo. Because remember, like psychology is almost majority the part of trading, is getting a good psychology around how to read candles, how to experience P&L. You can't do it too much on a demo account. So just get yourself on a live account as soon as possible. Opened a funded account yesterday, smashed the target by this morning. Oh, nice. Nice way to start off the week, sir. Coming back in this accumulation is gonna like test these areas out. Man, I really hope y'all do so well in Bitchy Gold ×2. Challenges get passed and eventually this gold rush ends someday. Yeah, eventually it's gonna go back to, you know, just what it does most of the time, but just enjoy it while it lasts. Pretty nice. But the thing about gold is it's always gonna have days where we're gonna be up like, you know, 1%, 0.70%. Like that's still gonna happen. We just might not be hitting obviously all-time highs continuously like the way we're doing right now. Like literally every trade we're taking is all the time at the all-time highs. All-time highs every day. Even tomorrow on stream, we're gonna come to stream. Gold is probably gonna be at all-time highs again. But I believe that's gonna be keeping up until the end of the year. So we got nothing to worry about, at least this year. We should still have volume up until the end. May ATH last forever. Amen. And you know, it's gold at the end of the day. Gold's a tier 1 asset. So there's always going to be some kind of liquidity in gold. It's really good for hedging. So I'm not worried about gold slowing down like I would GJ, for example. Gold's the safest thing because even the stock market moves like gold moves. Whenever we have these major events, you're going to find gold spots moving. Whereas you see something like GJ has just been dead in the water basically this whole year. It's just been dead in the water despite all the macro fundamentals we were getting this year. You see, so you got to choose your instrument wisely as well. You know, what instrument are you willing to play in? Like how versatile is that instrument? You see, like if you're a GJ guy and like the whole thing, you'd have been missing everything this year if you're a GJ guy. You don't trade anything else that's not correlated with, you know, the US dollar, for example. Just do longs on GJ when pound is strong. Actually, let's see what our Chinese indicator here is saying. Kind of like a strong dollar, but you know, at the same time, we also got a strong gold. So that's why we call this Chinese indicator. You know, it's just like for fun, basically. We just use for fun. Because correlations, they're a huge hit and miss, especially if you're intraday trader. Just looking for moves like this. The correlations, they don't really help you. But it's nice to see when it's in your favor. We got GJ strength. It's moving up. Pound weak, yen weakness. See, it's nice to see. Because GJ has been moving up crazy today. It's already up about 1.30. No, 63%. Let's see if there's any updates to the Fed SMC Fed Watch tool. I was gonna take some time here. Alrighty then. We have October at 94.6% easing. So we're going to have the next FOMC this month in 23 days. And easing is at 94.6%. So, you know, gold should keep moving up. That's all that's telling me is that gold should keep moving up. And in December, it's at 99.4% easing. Again, don't worry about volume slowing down this year. It's only going to increase. If anything, we're going to see at least 4K hit and beyond. That's what I'm anticipating. Awesome. Anything else? Can come over here. Gold tops 3,900 on US rate cut bets. Government shut down uncertainty. We also have that as a kind of a, what do you call it? Like a catalyst. Catalyst for price to move up. Okay, you see now they're talking about the SME, Fed Watch tool. Markets now price in 95.7% chance of a cut in October and an 84.1% possibility of another reduction in December. So this one they got kind of wrong over there. Leading support to non-yielding gold. See? See, gold may need structural break to stay above 4,000 level. a structural break. So structural break just means obviously if we see price consolidate, let's say below 4,000 and create some kind of a structure and then breaks like this, then we can expect that to be a structural break. So, you know, price can respect the previous level that we were sitting in. And watch yesterday's simulation. We talked about these levels. And so that price can continue to move up bullish. Right? So that's what they're meaning here by structural break, to stay above 4,000. Because we are going to hit 4,000, but it's just going to be an all-time high hit, right? It's just going to be all-time high. And then it needs to pull down to create that structure so we can have a foundation that price moves up. And, you know, that's the exact way that we took this trade over here today. That we created first a foundation so price can have a structural break above. You know, now we want to see it respect that area. You see, we just moved up a level. Let's come back to retest this zone. But we want to see it respect this zone now. And then continue moving up for the rest of the day. I think that's it. The analyst expects gold to extend gains as a global economic slowdown, fiscal strain, and policy fatigue fuel safe haven demand. However, she thinks a new factor which could be a sharp downturn in global growth, a deeper geopolitical rift, or a clear policy shift by the Federal Reserve may be needed for gold to convincingly vault beyond 4K. Oh, she thinks a new factor is needed. So we need something. We need something. What can we have for gold to move up? So that's the way I kind of look at the economy. Is the people who run the economy, they think like this. What war can we start? What pandemic can we start? Where can we get this next thing? You know, because the market always needs a new thing. Without a new thing, the market's not going to go anywhere. So it's either going to be, as she says over here, a geopolitical rift, maybe a clear policy shift by the Federal Reserve, but we need some kind of a drama, you know? Like, you know, just the same way we like to watch like TV shows. And when there's drama in the TV shows, they're like, wow, this is getting interesting here. So, you know, the volume goes up. The volume, the people who tune into that show, it increases volume when there's drama. Like, you know, Love Island. In Love Island, you got so much drama, people are like, what's going on here? Then volume increases. So it's just the same way. We need drama in our lives. Unfortunately, that's the misfortune of people in the real world. But that's what the market needs, and that's how it operates. So she thinks that we're going to need like some kind of a new catalyst. But, you know, recently we got the government shutdown. That was a new catalyst. Geopolitical tensions seem to be kind of quiet. We're not hearing too much about that. I'm not hearing a lot of headlines between Russia and Ukraine, although the war is still going on. That doesn't seem to be in focus right now. The main thing is the interest rates. And the recent catalyst we got was US government shutdown. So what's next? What can we anticipate that's going to be on the horizon next? You know, because some people are really good at analysis. You can imagine people who are good at dissecting the market using public information to anticipate an event like the government shutdown. That could have been anticipated by some hedge funds because they had the resources and the capacity and the experience to build a sort of like narrative towards something like that happening based off of the political landscape, economic landscape of the country. But as retail traders, we don't have that capacity. Especially if you're doing it individually, you need to be a little bit of an exceptional character to actually anticipate such moves ahead of time. Other moves are much easier, like the interest rate cuts. Most of us could have already anticipated that with the way things were going, especially with Trump in power and his 4 pro rate cuts, and obviously the way things were going. Those are much easier to anticipate. But something like a government shutdown, I think you gotta like dig a little bit into that. So it's the same mental model of thinking, what's the next catalyst gonna be? Do you see something happening? Increasing tensions between Russia and Ukraine on the horizon? Is there something happening in Gaza? Is there some kind of new political shifts that are about to come in? You know, I think that's something that is a really nice edge if you had that ability as a trader, but a lot of people don't because it requires a lot of due diligence. It's a lot easier for us to react to medium, let's say short to medium term moves as scalpers. Just do longs on GJ when pound is strong now, because yen is utterly weak. Yeah, yen is complete garbage today. This thing just skyrocketed since the Asia session. Massive open. I haven't seen a market open gap this big. Massive market open gap, and it's accumulating orders here, so it can keep moving up soon. But it's not yet ready to move anywhere. So you see it's building a foundation so that once it starts to break above these highs, that price can distribute to the upside. But it needs a bunch of orders in here. Gold traders have had upside directional bias since 2022 September. So what's a government short down all about? Well, you can just Google that. Ask ChatGPT right now. What's a government shutdown all about? Let's see what she says. What's the most recent US government shutdown all about?
The U.S. government has been shut down since October 1st, 2025, because Congress couldn't agree on a funding bill before the fiscal year ended. This has caused around 800,000 federal employees to be furloughed and some key services like economic data publication to be paused. President Trump has also hinted at potential mass layoffs if negotiations with Democrats don't move forward.
Very nice. Very nice. It's nice. I like. Borat could be a trader in this day and age. You know? That's how amazing technology has become. That anyone can be a trader in this day and age. You just gotta ask the right questions. You gotta ask the right questions, and you know you're gonna get a perfect answer for them. Yeah, it looks like we're coming up here again. Beautiful distribution from this low over here. Small little accumulation with it inverted. Not the cleanest, but you know, something could have been taken out of this. I got it. Nice. Yeah, this is distribution 100%. Look at the way it came out of this. Lovely push up there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It's kind of bouncing for a bit. You know, we have the all-time highs over here. Remember what I said, chat? Like, it's coming to retest these zones. It came back to retest our buddies over here. Just the same way that I spoke about this area over here as well. Same thing happened. We got our entry confirmation. Boom. Came back. Talked about this. Retest. Next trade. Entry confirmation. Boom. Came back. Retest our buddies here. Because we don't like to leave them in profit for too long. Right, guys? That's what the market is saying, basically. We got to give them profit. But we don't want to make it too easy for them. You know, let's try maybe get some trading stops out of the way, and maybe even get some break-evens maybe, or some mismanagement. Hey, good morning, Jay. Ja. I took 12 USD from it on a 30 USD account. Very nice. Very good profit from a 30 account. The fall of Trump administration. I have actually grown a £100 account to 2K plus. Amazing. Should I hold my buy or take the profit? I think if you're still in this trade, like definitely secure at least 80% or something. There's no point in being greedy. Like this is a really good move. This is a really good move here. Because the market will probably have to range for a bit and then maybe create some more accumulation here so that we can start moving up again during, like, let's say pre-NY session, pre-New York, or maybe even the NY Open. Those are the key times now. That volume should be coming in if it consolidates here to keep pushing up. But you don't want to risk it because, you know, sometimes the market also changes direction. The longer, that's why we say the people who have like open risk, high time frame stop losses, they expose themselves more to the changing dynamics of the market. So that's why for you, it's important to secure like 80% here. Put your stop loss to break even. Just let the market move. Remember, just because it's moving doesn't mean you have to take a trade. But some people, you can't like help themselves. It's so hard to help ourselves. See, you got Ricardo over here, just sold the top for 0.02. Trading it again to gain confidence on increasing the lot size. And it's like proper scalping, dude. This is how like actual... This is how I thought scalping is, like, you know, getting in and out, getting in and out, getting in and out. That's one way of doing it. And also what I'm doing here is also basically scalping. It's scalping, but we're trying to... It doesn't mean we just have to get out sooner, but the trades have probabilities of running more. And another scalping mindset, that you have these other people who don't wait for structure. And the reason is they're getting in and out. Like they're getting in here, getting out here, like very quickly, right? They can take one here and then shortly afterwards take another one here. And then shortly afterwards take another one here. Because they're not really using structure in the sense we're using structure. But they're having opportunities for these short-term scalps. So my strategy is like a little bit of a mix of both. You know, but predominantly what I'm looking for most of the time is a move with a significant type of distribution, like a significant type of push. So that even if I wanted to hold, I have the option that I can hold. You know, sometimes people don't have that option. You know, so my trades still give me options to hold. But if I'm building a system based off of just scalping here and there inside ranges like this, you don't really have too much options to hold. You know, because now you're caught inside of those ranges. Whereas us, what we're looking for is something that can have a potential runner. It's the same thing that I took this morning as well. My same trade that I took over here. You see this? This was just a shotgun entry. So if you're locked in, you could have cut this move over here. See what it was? Because we had range. We had range for price to move down from here, point A to point B. We had so much room for price to move down. The double bottom on the 5 candle was the entry for me. Usually indicates a flip. Tied us out. I really wonder what it is that the chat looks like when we're all looking at these same charts. I wonder if we actually look at the same thing. Write a 1 in the chat if you understand the way I trade. And just be honest, guys. Like, do you understand the way I trade, or do you still don't understand it? Like, just be honest. Just be honest. Do you understand what I'm doing here, or you don't understand? Write a 1 if you understand, write a 2 if you don't. Because remember, I'm not trading ICT or FVG and these things you're going to learn from literally anybody else. Like, this is just something that I kind of made up on my own. I made up on my own with a bit of help from people. But obviously, like, I doubt you're watching another streamer who uses inverted head and shoulders and confluences, accumulations, and this type of like way that we do analysis. You're gonna notice it's a bit different. All right, but we got a lot of 1s. Okay, good. That's good to see. That's good to see. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Just one casual example. Kind of understand it. Nice. Awesome. I see what you're doing. I do my own thing, but enjoy your channel. Thank you, John. Got a lot more 1s in here. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to know sometimes because I feel like majority of the internet is trying to replicate smart money concepts. Hi, Tetra, did you become liquidity today? Liquidity every day. I even got some liquidity over here, sir. Everything. We like liquidity, right? So the important thing is to be liquid. That's a good thing about trading. Trading is one of those businesses which it helps you stay liquid, right? It helps you with cash flow. But it's not like a business that you want to kind of build up upon to make your millions of dollars. But it's good to get the initial cash flow going so you can put in place those other projects that are going to help you get to those higher levels. So we like liquidity. See, now we'll most likely just range within this zone. See, we have resistance, we got support. And this whole zone here, it's like 143 pips. 143 pips. So it's accumulating. It's getting ready for the next session, basically. You can think of this like a sport as well, right? So if you're watching like a rally or something like that, where it's like you're going to have your race. And then after the race, you got to take a break. You got to take a break. So these are like the main events, right? Whenever we have a distribution, that's like the main events. And the main events can be generalized because if you look at the market just for purely what the market is, right? Look at this. You can kind of generalize the main event, right? So this is the main event right here. Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao. This was like kind of a main event. It was a smaller main event, but then this was the next main event right over here, right? In terms of the direction that we're heading towards. So we're looking at these massive kind of pushes. From here, see, accumulate and then distribute to the upside. Then you have profit taking. Profit taking, the main event is over. Everyone's going to go get their snacks. You know, we're going to chill for a while. Got a small little event here that happened. You know, it's just something small, some sideshow bobs. And then we have another main event that happened right over here. Right? And now what it's gearing up for is going to be the next one. And I think that's going to be coming in during, obviously, like pre-NY in the next hour. New York Open. So this is that range that it's going to be. Whether we're going to keep pushing up from here or we're just going to keep pushing down. And you can take smaller trades in between, but yeah, that's what we're looking at the market for. As objective as possible. You know, so we don't get too caught up with being impatient. You know, because this is an area where you're going to be impatient. Because you're going to think that we should just keep moving up and creating all-time highs. But the market doesn't have to move based off of your schedule. It's going to move based off its schedule. And the only way price can move up, you know, two ways price can move up, right? Two ways. When there's volume and when there's news. Those are the two ways that price can keep moving up here at this point. So if we're looking at times when there's volume, this is a low volume time. typically speaking. So for distribution as a general push as a main event, there's a lower chance, I would usually say, throughout the whole year that 5 a.m. hourly candle can give us that move. But from that next candle, that 6 a.m. Eastern candle, we can start to see more of like some kind of a direction come in. Just the same way as I come onto stream. There's a high probability with these first hourly opens. This was taken at, you know, like 3:45. That first hourly candle for the London Open, we can get a main event because it's a London Open. London Open is a main event in its own right. Would you like to buy but need a good entry? Do you tell some signals here? Yeah, you can get some signals here. Is a market fade? Yeah, that's a market fade, exactly. It's a market fade. Market fade for price to break below support to keep moving down. You can take it like a market fade or some kind of a swing entry model with a stop above this area over here. You know, it's a sell, but I wouldn't take this trade. But this is an option. All this is just an option that the market's giving right now. You got an option of a 58 pip range for price to move down. Maybe you can start looking at setups in terms of options. So it gives you an option and you get to decide whether you want to take that option or you don't want to take that option. Actually, I think trading, your whole trading game is going to shift when you start looking at it from an option perspective, because it's like you can kind of compartmentalize all the trades throughout the day. So if you get the trade setup, it's just like an option. It's giving you an option. Do you want to take it? Do you want to not take it? Up to you. FOMO doesn't exist. FOMO, if it plays out like this, and let's say you didn't take it, that's only kind of you're making that in your head that this is FOMO and now you feel bad that you missed a move. No, the market gave you an option. You could have taken it, you could have not taken it. You didn't want to take it, let it go. Then it's going to give you another option. It's going to set up again. You know, and then you can look at that option and say, do I want to take it? And then you take it if you want to take it. You don't take it if you don't want to take it. But most of the time, the ones which come to you are the best trades, right? So you're not chasing because something like this happens. Now you're chasing. There's also another small little option for sells up here too. It's not the cleanest, but it could have been something that came out of this. Because we can see there was a distribution of sorts towards the downside over there. Came down and then came down, it crashed, retested the previous entries like we spoke about, and then moved back upwards. But it also gave a re-entry. So again, you also never really miss a move in the market. Because if you look at it from this perspective, look, took a buy over here. Let's say you didn't come to stream. You missed this trade, right? What did the market do? It came back to your entries. Even in this scenario, it gave you a re-entry opportunity for price to distribute back upwards. You know, that's why I'm telling you, like, if there's something you're going to take away from the stream, just know FOMO. This is all made up in your head that you missed the move. You don't really miss the move. It's all about risk appetite. You know, so I still think there's a high probability that the buys would have played out because we're overall in a bullish environment, 1.50% right now. The good thing about this one, it did give a re-entry structure too. Inverted head and shoulders, little accumulation, break of the highs. And you can always kind of like tell by the way it distributes, you know, that kind of a reaction over here. That's how you can kind of tell if that was kind of like part of the thesis of the move that you're looking for. Because there's a certain reaction that happens when you execute your trade. There's a certain reaction that happens. You know, and if it's a losing trade, okay, fine, whatever. Not all trades can be perfect, but if you're finding yourself losing trades, always like journal those trades and see if it's really part of your the way that price is supposed to behave, even as you're forming your own strategies. See if, like, besides just the strategy, the entry and the stop loss, see how price tends to react when you get your entries. It's going to give you a good sense of whether you're going to be having those winning trades, stay winning trades, or losing trades. It's going to manage risk on those losing trades just because you know how it's supposed to react. Don't just be a sitting duck. You know, a lot of the time we have our strategies fine. We're trading a trend line bounce. We take the trend line bounce, and then that's it. That's when our analysis stops. After we get our entries, then we kind of like become like a sitting duck. And we're not paying attention to how our winning trades are actually behaving and how our losing trades are actually behaving. Keep that in mind after missing that, and I'm still holding. When would you re-enter for a buy? When would I re-enter? There's something cooking up here, but it's not yet fully formed. Maybe some like forms nicely over here. That could form a good case scenario for a buy. If you can like set up TFX concepts here. So I think if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you just gotta keep watching the stream here for at least another quarter. But it's definitely starting to cook something up there. Hey Jackson, thank you for the sub. How can I add those extra drawing tools on my laptop? You gotta contact the market wizards and they will approve or disapprove if you're worthy of these magical drawing tools here. But if you say, please, how can I add those extra drawing tools? Then I'm going to tell you. But you got to say the magic word. The magic word. What's the magic word? Give me buy signal. Give me sell signal. Give me that. Give me that. Come on, man. All you got to say is please. I want this, I want that. Grab it before it gets deleted. Alright, so we're gonna delete you here. Advertising these things, not good. Ah, you see, it doesn't want to say please. So if it's not gonna say please, then he's not gonna get it. Ah, there we go. Xauusd TV. It's, you know, all it is Zoom annotations. So you gotta download Zoom and you can have those drawing tools. And you know what you're gonna do with those drawing tools? You're gonna journal your trades and you're gonna send them in here. Because you see, we have chart rules where you can nicely label your chart like this, and then you're gonna use those drawing tools to some good use now. And then you can take some screenshots of your analysis and you can send it over to the Discord. Market might go sideways for an hour. Yeah. You're on Zoom too? Yes. So you gotta zoom over here. A lot of aha moments every time I keep coming back. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think every time you keep coming back, you're gonna learn at least something new each stream. One thing new. What indicator am I using on my trading view that shows the 2 yellow lines? That is just SMAs. So just again, come over to the Discord or just look in the description box. You got these SMA indicators. So you click on the link and then it just puts it on your chart for you. See, that's where it is. SMA indicator. Can you please explain how they work? Click on the link. There's a whole description there on how it works. But they're like volume indicators. You see, like for basically this 1 minute play over here, what do you notice about them? What do you notice about these SMAs? See, they got like some Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, they got some kind of like a volume inside of them, right? I mean, we're trading above them. We're trading above the SMAs as we're breaking the highs. So this is to us indicating like we can have a form of dynamic support as price breaks those highs. Because it's much nicer if you're planning on a buy that even on the 5 minute, you see how the 5 minutes coming up like this, that the 5 minute is in line with what you want to catch. Let's see, 15 minute, you got 15 minute SMA in your favor in confluence. You got the little kiss of death situation happened right here, where it's right below the candle like this. Because let's start new. I'm gonna look at it like this. Look at the way that SMA is reacting off of this level here on the 5 minute. And then next candle opens, boom. You saw how I just helped it come up like that. Did you see the way it like kind of helped it jump the fence? Look at the way it helps it jump the fence. Right? So look at this. Give me your leg, buddy. Boop. Helps to jump the fence. You know, so that's a good way to use the SMAs there, like as a volume awareness tool. So it kind of like helps you kind of anticipate better what to expect. Also, it's good for trailing too, if you start closing below it, the 8 SMA. See, look, it's giving him a jump over here right now currently as well. Small little kiss of death. It's trying to help it up. So you use that in line with your entry confirmations. Yeah, that's the best way you're going to use it. But you don't want to just base trades off SMAs and head and shoulders. You know, you got to make it make sense. Bro, help. I've been holding a sell for a long time. I'm down 4K. Should I sell? I can't tell you how to trade your strategy. I don't know what it is you trade. It's not about me telling you whether to hold it or not. It's about seeing where you took your position, why you took your position. You know, that's more important. What were you expecting price to do? Because right now what you're doing is gambling. It's like 50-50. Price can move up, price can move down. If I tell you to close and it moves down, then you're going to point a finger at me. You're going to point your finger and say, that's the bad guy. He told me to close my trade. I could have held that trade and made profit. Sir, I did not get you. Well, my network messed me up. Selling in an uptrend, don't know if it's a good idea. Yeah, it's very risky. Even these sells that are happening right now, I got a potential sell here, I think. Let's go on the 1 minute. Yeah, it's forming a potential for a breakout here where it breaks these lows. See, it's created a support. Next candlestick re-breaks these lows. Then it's going to have a good probability that price can distribute down. But if it breaks the highs, then, you know, price can maybe continue moving up bullish. But it's still quite risky. Selling when price is moving up. I rarely sell gold regardless of bias. How do you trade gaps from the weekend? Oh, that's simple. I don't. Only if my trade is at the gap area. So let's say if I took like actually no, I don't. So even if there's a gap over here, let's say if there's a gap here, I still don't trade gaps. I would rather wait for some kind of a structure there. Hoping for new ATH. Most likely gonna get it soon. Next hourly candle. Or from the next hourly candle. What was your plan before you took that sell? Because you should know when to exit, whether in profit or drawdown. Exactly. You should always know what you're gonna do before you get in. And I like to say this, like, you wouldn't go take a shit without knowing what the toilet paper is, right? It's the same thing with TP. Why take a trade if you don't know where your TP is? You know, then just makes for like a messy experience. Yeah, I was about to say it. Small little shotgun that's currently in motion. Candle close below support over there. Got a few rejection wicks. So that's what I'm seeing, that price action's cooking something. It's definitely trying to move out of this area, that's for sure. The next big move is coming out of this zone. Where, you know, that's an option that market's giving you right now. Next big move, maybe it's going to be a sell. Maybe in the next 5 minutes, we're going to see the price is going to move down like this. Or it's going to break the highs. And then have like some kind of a move up. And it's coming from this 1 minute. You see how it's ranging like this? It's building up orders in here. To be honest, the sells look a lot cleaner though. Even though it's a counter trend move. It does look cleaner. It has more points. Remember about the point system we talk about, the confluences, right? You got 1, shotgun play. 2, SMA. 3, you got nice little potential consolidation. 4, you have beautiful range to the downside. So the sells look appetizing. Now, if you do it for the buys, all I can say is, okay, 1, we have consolidation. 2, we're with the trend. But that's about it. You have to worry about these rejection wicks. You got resistance over here as well. If the candlesticks reflip back up, then at that point, you're going to have your SMA in favor and confluence too. But just mainly because of this clean range, I feel like usually the clean ranges are really nice to have as a point. A clean range always kind of helps price, you know? It's like a magnet basically. You see like how price came and filled this range from here. These levels are like magnets, right? Price breaks below here to come and then refill this range back down. It's just where you did that up there. Same way we can expect to do it down here. So if you're looking for a buy, you don't really have a magnet like that for a buy. So that's why I think that this is clean. Doesn't mean I'm gonna take it. I'm just saying, structurally speaking, if I was looking for a sell, I would be happy to have this. Kind of like a breadcrumb. Because you know the problem with live streaming is people always expect you to take a trade. So that leads you to actually, you know, I can do analysis over here and we can have them play out. But the more analysis I do, the more times I'm going to be wrong. Just the same way as the more you overanalyze, the more you overtrade, the more times you're going to be wrong. The more we keep doing something, the more you do, the less you're going to get back in trading. The less you do, the more you get back in trading. So all we can do at this point is like, you know, paper trade and at least enjoy the profits that we already made. Some people think once a pair is pumping you short, they actually think that's how to trade. Oh, you don't know the technical and fundamental knowledge you have to apply to actually know. Yeah, some people do that. You know, for me, I think like if price breaks a low, it should move down. It shouldn't move up. There's a reason why it's breaking the low, correct? So it can move down. Whereas people do the opposite because they don't really maybe know what they're doing, or got like some smart money concept over here. Maybe they saw like an FEG somewhere around here. Yeah, exactly. Someone said it. Isn't that FEG? I don't even know about FEGs, but I do know it has something to do with like this kind of structure here. Something of the sort like that. That's all I know about FEGs. It is. GVF. Liquidity. The moment you start saying words like liquidity, what else? Everyone thinks it's like a ICT concept. What else do we say? I think like order blocks. Here's an order block as well. Order block would sound like ICT concept. You know, for me, order block is this. This is what I call an order block, whereas some people also call like accumulation, consolidation. It's also like an order block, isn't it? This is a block here of orders. Look at it. So order block. You got a liquidity grab. You got a fair value, you know, because price came down. So it gives you like a fair value for it to move up again. Another order block right over here. So you got a block of orders. A fair value as well, because it hasn't distributed much from this area. So, you know, still fair value. So we got smart TFX concepts. So I'll just use those same words, but use it differently. Is it going up again? I don't concern myself with order blocks. As long as they don't block my orders, I'm happy. Oh, is it pumping up? Yeah, I mean, clearly it's pumping up. Oh, you got to bounce here. You're on the right side of the market. So you are trading your trend line in line with how you want to be trading a trend line, right? Because even in a situation like this, if you're using a trend line, you're trading with where majority of the volume is going. So you're looking for a buy. I don't know why you draw this zone here. This seems like a random zone to have chosen to just draw. Just because I guess it was just the most convenient line you could have found there. So that's what you used basically. That to me is what that type of analysis looks. It's just finding the most convenient line that makes you feel happy about taking a trade over there. It could really be anywhere. It could also be here. If it keeps moving down, you're just going to keep drawing lines. Trend line. I'll draw the trend line a little bit more neat. Like somewhere like this. But it's still kind of the same idea here. Oh, one touch, another touch here. Boom, boom, boom. Careful guys, it's a sign going down. We are still in the selling point. Let's see how many pips this was. 25 pips, pushed about 24 pips. Pretty decent push here for that little shotgun. Basically almost a 1-to-1 on this. Yeah, had some profit taking within the range. Why is gold moving up today? Same reason it's been moving up the whole time. Nothing much has changed. It's the same gold that we were trading last week. That it's moving up, you know. Rate cuts. We got rate cuts at the end of the month. The government shutdown. I think that's it. I don't think anything happened over the weekend. Market fade. Chat, pancakes or waffles? Right in the chat. What do you guys like better, pancakes or waffles? I go with waffles or pancakes. What are we doing here? Pancakes or waffles? Right in the chat. Right in the chat. Right in the chat. This is a typical like a Russian breakfast. Like a Russian breakfast is it's mainly like, you know, pancakes and you know, like stuff like this. It's like a typical Russian type of breakfast. A British breakfast is like, you know, sausage. You got your eggs. You got your pudding, black pudding or blood, that dark blood thing. I forgot what it's called. Australians, they need their Marmite. Also, I've met a few British people who like Marmite too. I think Marmite's also kind of British, but I know Australians, possibly Marmite. You got the German breakfast. German breakfast is more like bread. Germans like a lot of bread. Bread, you know, some pastries. Let's see what we got over here. Waffles, mainly waffles. Hey, interesting. You got mainly waffles. I think the pancakes stack a lot better though. Pancakes stack nicely like this. You know, got some melted butter and some honey over here. See, the waffles don't really stack so nicely. It's a bit harder as well, but the pancakes are a lot more smooth, a lot softer than the waffles are. The waffles feel like they're doing a little bit too much. Whereas the pancakes kind of like get the job done and it's like smooth. It's smoother to eat. But I get a waffle if you put some Nutella on it. Black pudding for British. Both. Alright, so we got a waffle kind of chat over here. Woods, we got loads of wafflers in here. Love the full English breakfast without the beans. Oh, but you gotta have the beans though. I mean, the beans is like a staple. How can you have a British breakfast with no beans? You need those baked beans. What's an American breakfast? Anybody from the States over here? What's an American breakfast? American breakfast. Cereal, I'm gonna guess. Some Captain Crunch cereals and let's see, some bacon. Yeah, bacon. You got bacon. Oh, let's see what's the difference. American got some pancakes. Oh, hash brownies. Yeah, I think hash brownies, bacon. Those are two definitely in there. Eggs. I like to say cereal. I think cereal quite a lot. A mix of all. And I'm thinking about food right now because I haven't had breakfast yet. Because the setup came so late, I couldn't eat anything before the stream. So now I'm getting kind of hungry. Nice, get some hash brownies in there. Filipino breakfasts are the best. Someone said McDonald's. Got some whips. That's what I'm telling you guys. Careful in getting in. It's a selling signal. It's a ranging. It's honestly just range. Remember what we said? This 5 a.m. candle here, we're not expecting too much of a direction to come out of it. This 5 a.m. candle here, it could just range for a bit. This become like a no trade zone for now. So you see how nicely we timed this. Just when there's times when there's volume in the market. So we come. Exactly, we start stream for this. This is what we start stream for. This push. Because like after that push, you know, it's a bit of like a hit and miss at this point. Because that's going to consolidate till 6 a.m. over here. You see like 6 a.m. That's when the next volume time is going to be. You also trade the Asia? Yes. Xauusd TV. The drawing tools are Zoom annotations. Yeah, your network kind of messed up there. Yeah, it's Zoom annotations. That's how you draw it. And then you just come over here and you're going to send us your chart work. So let's see how you can draw now. You know, like send in some charts, you know, get some feedback. Because that's why you want the drawing tools, right? Is so you can journal your trades. Are you an early bird or night owl? Try to go to sleep, but at least get like 7 hours of sleep. Not much of a night owl. Probably in bed by the time like midnight hits. Midnight, yeah, most of the time before like just when midnight hits, I'm already going to bed. Not much of a morning person either. So as long as I get like 7 hours of sleep, that's good. Oh, let me see what my sleep score is. Let's see how I slept last night. Oh, it doesn't look too good here. Got like 88%. That's not bad. It still says sleep score is high. 88% sleep score. I think that night owl thing, it's for people who feel like they work more efficiently during the night, right? When it's more quiet. The thing about my brain, it never shuts off. So throughout the whole day, I'm always trying to think like if there's anything that I can improve. And you know, the funny thing, that idea can come at any time. It can come here at lunchtime. It can come here in the evening, let's say like 6 p.m. It could come at like, you know, 10 p.m. Man, the worst is when God gives me an idea shortly before I have to go to bed. So I'm already comfortable in bed, but just because I've gotten this idea now, you know, sometimes those ideas can run me through the night for like, let's say a couple hours, and I'm going to bed like 2 a.m. in the morning. So, you know, we don't know when these ideas are going to pop into our heads. You know, these are the ideas on how you can improve something. That's the problem with an entrepreneurial mindset, right? It never rests. Because like if you don't make something better, no one makes it better for you. So if there's something you're doing wrong right now, no one is going to tell you you're doing that thing wrong. So you always kind of have to play the devil's advocate and second guess yourself a lot, which can be quite exhausting. So that can happen at any moment. It's different from like if you're studying for a test, for example, then you know you can just do that at night. Now, why are you selling the trend market? Wait for buy. You should be a pro to sell. Market is trending up. Yeah, I'm not touching the market right now, man. Because this has now become a no trade zone. So only if you want to get some whips, you can take a trade over here, you know. New here, do you do this full time for a living? Yes, sir. Full time. full-time, but not a slave to the market. Big difference. You know, like let's say if I was not streaming, yeah? If I was not streaming, then I would have taken this trade. We were 45 minutes into the stream. I would have taken this trade 45 minutes and then gone and done something else. Right? Just the same way with my trade this morning. I took a trade. I think it was on the chart not for too long because that broke at 2. Oh yeah, that was about an hour. So today on average, I've been on the chart for like, let's say 2 hours to catch 2 trades. The rest of the time is just like, you know, showing you guys the setups, explaining to you guys the setups. That takes a lot more time than actually trading. Trading takes so little time compared to the whole social media aspect of it. That takes way more time. This is how you milk gold, bro. I mean, the good thing is like if you go on your Forex Factory today, you don't have nothing to watch out for. So just Bailey is going to be speaking, but that's about it. Not really important unless you're trading the pound. But besides from that, it's a pretty good day for you to catch some stress-free trades without worrying about the New York session consolidating for news. All your job is to catch. This is all you have to do, right? All you have to look at is how can you catch the next hourly candlestick? That's what you got to ask yourself. How can you catch it? Because you see this hourly, it moved up. So we caught it. See this hourly? People are looking for sells. Maybe this hourly closes as a bearish hourly candle and you manage to catch your sells. Right? But you're just looking to see how can you catch an hourly candle? Previous hourly was like a doji over here. I anticipate the next hourly should give a little bit more of a direction. Just watch and see how this one closes. Kind of like respect this area over here. Or we close back down below it. Because we've already moved up for Asia and London open. We might be due for some kind of a retracement soon. This might end up being a little fake out over here. Just retested the all-time highs, the ATH. And then to start coming down again. But to really sell off, this is what you're looking for the rest of the day. This support. Just keep your eyes on that support level and see if now price starts to respect the support level and continue to push downwards. Then there's a pretty good chance that up until like New York Open, we might see price have a further retracement. And then sometimes with the New York Open, what we see is now the daily continuation, which is a bull run right over here. Would you beat TGR in a fight? I don't fight anybody. But the guy is pretty big. Like he's surprisingly really tall, eh? I beat him in trading. I'll beat him in trading. Because I manage my risk. Traders who don't manage their risk are gamblers. They're not traders. It doesn't matter how much they made. It's just because the market can easily take all that away. So if you ever show me a trader A who has a consistent equity curve and whenever he loses a little bit. And you show me trader B who looks like he's gaining exponential growth. But whenever he loses, he can lose like 50%. Man, this is not what you want. That's not stable. You know, this is not stable over here. You want someone who's more like this. Stable, consistent growths. Some people, they do this for marketing because, you know, they're going to say, oh, I'm 50% down in my account. Obviously, people are going to be like, wow, I can't believe you're down 50%. And, you know, people also find that quite interesting because they say misery loves company. So whenever you see like an influencer and they're like down, let's say 50% on an account, most people are going to engage with that content because misery loves company, right? But you're always going to see miraculously they're coming out of those negative trades and then making profits all of a sudden. You know, and now there's a silver lining there between what's actually trading and what's actually marketing. Because like some of these guys, they know how to swing they know how to swing people's psychology when it comes to such things. So I think, you know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with those guys. So that's why I think in an honest trade-off, I can beat TGR in trading. In an honest trade-off. Not in who's a better marketer, but in an honest trading environment. Did you watch how Chama knock out? No, I didn't. Guess I'm a gambler. Yeah, no one who's risking like more than 50% is actually consistent, chat. Like, that's not realistic. Because, you know, what does that mean for clusters of good and bad trades? You know, because for me, I don't know when my next trade is going to be a winning trade. I could have a cluster of like 3 losing trades. I don't know when the next winning trade is going to be. So let's say if you risk 50% here, and then what happens on the next trade? Another 50% blow the account? You know, like you're going to have clusters of winning and losing trades. So if you're an over risker, you're risking more that your account is going to eventually blow because of the random clusters of losing and winning trades. That's why you can't really afford to take such a big drawdown, because all you need is 2 back-to-back losses and you're done. Because the only other option for you, if you lose like, let's say 20% even, how are you going to get back 20%? Are you going to start risking 5% a trade? Or are you just going to keep risking what you're risking before, if that was 1 to 3%? Because a lot of the time is like, as traders, what we end up doing to ourselves is we get bored with the 2% risk. And then we go on social media and we see this guy making a lot more money, risking more. Then we're going to take a 10% trade. And then we're going to lose that 10% trade. And then say, oh shit, okay, now I'm going to go back to 2%. You know, and that puts you down so badly because now you have to work even more to make back that 10%. But if you take another trade and now you're going to be down 20%, you know, and then what you're going to do at that point? Just imagine your psychology. You're down 20% now. What are you going to do? What are we going to do here? Because 10% per trade, that's only 10 trades to blow the account, right? 10 trades. So what are you going to do here? Most of the time, we're just going to forget about that account and just keep risking 10%. And hopefully we can dig ourselves out, correct? That's kind of the mentality behind it. Hopefully we can get that nice RR trade that gets us out of the hole. But a lot of the time, you just keep digging the hole even more when you keep risking 10%. Because you go from being cool, your psychology goes from like a cool psychology to now a frustrated very quickly. So now you're operating more based off of like emotions and all you're seeing is red. Right? So you've gone from being disciplined, being calm, being collected, cool and collected. You know, this is how it starts when you do a FUDD challenge, for example. You start cool and collected, yeah? And then something happens down the line, you know? Maybe for the first week you can do it. And then it's like the second week, it's like something happens down the line that the emotions start to come back in. And then it's like we start giving back that progress. So be very careful of that. See how long your streaks are going before emotions start taking a hold of your trading. I think it's quite important because like some of us also start off the week really nicely. And then we end off the week a bit more aggro. The random zone got respected again. Just stick to 1 or 2 trades a day, you know? Just you're gonna remain cool with 1 or 2 trades a day. Because I think for me personally, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day here. I'm up about... Yeah, roughly like 3%. Hey, Ali, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, Alex. I think I'm going to end off the stream here, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. And remember, don't overstay, don't overtrade. I'll see you all for the London session open tomorrow. And take care, everybody. Adios.